But something else to think about with Pinterest is reaping the benefits of Pinterest as a brand. You don't even have to have a brand page. And Anthropology is a great example. And a lot of brands are getting organic benefits from Pinterest. Anthropology has over 2,000 followers, has no boards, no pins, no likes. They have done nothing on Pinterest except for set up a profile. Yet, if you search Anthropology on Pinterest, a slew of information is showing up on Pinterest search results from Anthropology. This means users are organically finding Anthropology products and pinning them to Pinterest. And Anthropology is reaping those benefits for the ones that are linked back. It brings up 2 points. One is that you have to think about your website. Is it optimized for Pinterest? Are the images pinnable on Pinterest? And the other one that I wanted to touch on is that when you're thinking about metrics on am I getting a success from Pinterest? I've had slow traction, I only have so many followers. A brand can reap benefits by more than just followers. Clearly Anthropology is, and I haven't thought this answer through completely, but I would say the biggest metric that I would be concerned about if I was a brand is the percentage of traffic that's going back to my website. Because you can control part of the pins that go into Pinterest by populating content yourself, but a lot of it, if you're lucky, it comes from organic stuff that you don't control. And some of these products, because Pinterest search isn't that mature right now, they probably have tons more products on Pinterest that don't have Anthropology in the description. So I would say right now, the biggest indicator of success on Pinterest is your referral traffic back to your website.
Do you know if the links from Pinterest have SEO value? Does Google index them as...
I think it's actually the image itself is indexed in Google.
But is the caption and the...
Pulling from the URL, it should.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, but the search is very much at its infancy, so I would say it's going to evolve to be much more deep than that.
Sorry, to that end, are there best practices for optimizing the description?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay. Do you know if they're going to be, maybe this is a little head bar, do you know if they're going to release like an API or something where they have better metrics?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. All great questions, though. So you want to optimize for your website. So that means, and I actually, one of the Miles to Style, she has like over 600,000 followers. I actually, Miles to Style, she was early on Pinterest, huge enthusiast. If you're ever on the West Coast, she teaches Pinterest for Business workshops. She's great. But I asked her, what's the optimized specs to be pinned? Because if you look on the stream, like some images actually do show up bigger and smaller than other ones. And for your website, sometimes you'll see images on a website and it will scan and Pinterest will come back, found no images because they were too small. She didn't have the answer. So that's a statistic or a spec that hopefully will emerge soon of actually what is the ideal size of images that we want. So you want to think searchable and repinnable. So this goes into if you're populating Pinterest with content that can be repinned and stuff and contributing to that pool, you want to make sure that it's got descriptions and links back to the website where it is. Oftentimes, the way that Pinterest is right now with the images, sometimes you right-click, open the image, or use some odd searching way to get down to the metadata and find this image that's hosted somewhere else. So if you're a brand and you click through and it's just the web URL where the image is, you guys all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's worthless because the user has no way to redirect back to the website. So you want to make sure when you're pinning images that it goes to where people can purchase it or where information is. Because if I'm taking that action and actually clicking through to get more information because I found this on Pinterest and I like it, And if it goes to a random website that just hosts the image, done, bounce, I'm on to something else on Pinterest. So that's a huge miss, especially from a brand standpoint, if you're not directing people directly to your website where the products are. The other thing, Pinterest search right now, it has a lot of potential. It's very basic. It can be very frustrating because it is so basic, and you put things in there and you don't know, why they're not showing up and whatnot. So search should be descriptive, but it also should use keywords that are very basic and broad category. It's not like the SEO practice where you think long tail, where the more keywords I use to be more specific will get me to the products are on Pinterest. It's not like Google, because it's too young for that. So you want to use broader keywords. Like if it's jewelry, you don't want to put, what would be an example? Like 3-carat diamond stud made from blah, blah, blah. Like you don't want to be too descriptive. You want to be diamond jewelry. And so when people are doing this, it will come. I think this piece of advice hopefully will be outdated very soon as the platform evolves. But for now, keep search simple. And also, when you're thinking about your boards, and this was done from Nordstrom for Valentine's Day, I thought it was a good example. You want to think searchable, but you also want to think repinnable. And what I mean by that is, so Facebook, you think shareable. What's something that I'm going to put on my Facebook page that my fans are going to want to share with their friends? So you think socially, what's shareable within a community, or a small group of friends. Pinterest, going back to the identity of things that people want to associate themselves with, are what do people want to associate themselves with on their categorized boards? My style, things I love, recipes, food. And I thought this did a good job of throwing in products and whatnot, but also throwing in just generic images that convey like an idea that goes along with the entire theme. And that's something that they can see the products and whatnot, but also something else that's not product related, but still connected to Nordstrom.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The description can be changed depending on the user, so should you really focus on the board name versus the description?
That's a good question. I would say yes, you do want to focus on the description for search. And if people repin without editing the description, you want to at least populate it with, what you want to begin with in an ideal world, if they don't change it.
So would you put your brand name and then the item, like Physique 57 products we love? Or that becomes too long?
That's too long.
It's too long,
I would
right?
I would more so go to change that because it's too long.
Yeah, I would
But
keep.
board name, you wouldn't be able to change my board name.
No.
And I would also suggest not just doing product placement.
Right.
Like,
Definitely not, but I was just curious, like,
Yeah.
is the board name more important than the description, because the description can be changed by any user?
I would say that's a good question. But search right now first is searched by description. So, and I don't have the statistics on user data of how many people switch over to search by board versus search by people. So I would, the default search being based on descriptions, I would say that descriptions actually way higher on that.